Another installment today on where to launch rockets in the greater Phoenix, Arizona area. Today we are at Crossroads Park on Knox Road and Greenfield. We're going to explore this very weirdly shaped park. It's almost a U shape and it's very well used. Lots of soccer fields, baseball fields, fences, light standards. There's a gigantic pond. You can see that in the background here. Sprinklers that run, but it's very grassy and there's a lot of open space. The launch area is rectangular, basically, much longer than it is wide. Lots of recovery area on soccer fields, but not the most recommended for launching rockets because of the light standards. So we're going to take a look at this park. Where's the best place to set up? What's recovery like? We'll put one in the air to get a feel for the place. So let's go. Standing close to the middle of this long and wide open space at Crossroad Park. This is all grass field, but there are some hazards. Water hazard, there's some trees, ball field light standards to light the ball fields. But the space is pretty wide open. There's a lot of space here. You can fly C&D motors here. I would recommend bringing your rocket down on a streamer if you do, because it's narrow and long. I'll show the dimensions of the field from overhead in a moment, but still a nice soft place for landing and recovery. Now looking west, about midfield on the open area of Crossroad Park, you can see the sprinklers are still on. Those are the ones I showed a moment ago, and the pond behind. Ball field, and from here you can see there are two levels above this one. Both are soccer fields. Both of them are lit by really large light standards that have to be watched out for. They're rocket eating light standards, especially those on parachutes. So setting up your launch pad and launching from this lower field is ideal. Again, it's narrow and long. Standing on a rise now on the field that I just cut across, and this is the prime launch area of this field. You can see the sprinklers still running in the background here. We just came from that direction, which would be north, the north part of the field. And I'm up on this first rise here. There's the ball field we were looking at earlier. Another vacant field. There's a building with a skating rink in it over there. And then this big soccer field, wide open, except for the light standards, which are formidable. And then above that, on a tier above this field, is another field that's about this same size with the same number of light standards that can be used for recovery or launching. You could actually launch on either of these soccer fields. You just have to watch out for those light standards. I would recommend streamers or tumble recovery if you're going to launch any kinds of rockets from those two fields. An overhead view of Crossroads Park. As you can see, this thing is pretty much U-shaped for field area. All of this is parking lot, ice skating rink here. You approach this from Greenfield Road to Knox Road. This Greenfield turns into Santan Parkway and runs into Ray Road, and the Top Golf is right here. Once you approach, there's two places to enter the field. You can park over here. This is where I parked, and you can approach the field this way. Or there's a utility road right here that skirts around this way, and you can park right in here and hit these two soccer fields or walk down. There's no, well, there actually is a fence between these two fields right here, a chain link fence with a couple of gates, but there's no fencing between that and all the way around here. The topography is hilly, actually. The first field here is up on a tier. It drops down to a second tier here, and then from here dropping down to this open area that is a gradual downhill slope to the pond, and then this is all sloped here. This is a hill. So from the parking lot down to this area, you're walking down a good hill. Then the ball fields are up top at the level of the parking lot. So the best place to launch is this area right in here. If you wanted to kind of draw a square area right in here. There's a fence along here, or along the ball field, but that field, especially if there's nobody practicing on it, is easily accessible. So let's take a few measurements just to give you an idea of how big this thing is. We'll start from this corner here, and this area here is pretty rough. It's not developed at all. And let's go all the way across here, or 2,000 feet. You can swing this thing around to the edge of the soccer field here. Here you got about 1,200 feet, but that's pretty scary to fly that close to that pond. That pond is formidable. So if you're out in the middle here, let's do that. We'll look at a middle spot and kind of circle around to get some distance. Starting here, you've got 600 feet from the middle of the field there to the edge of the first soccer field. If you wanted to use the soccer field as recovery area, you have now 900 feet. If you wanted to consider the second soccer field as a recovery area, 1,400 feet. Going this way and into the parking lot, 700 feet. To the edge of the parking lot, 300. Into the ball field here, 550. And then you got 343 feet from there till we hit and walk. Well, actually, less than that. This area here is very overgrown. It's actually more overgrown now than this picture depicts. But if your rocket lands over here, it's recoverable. And this brush over here isn't that tall, so you'd be able to recover your rocket. But that pond is not, you can't, it's deep. You would have to swim out to get a rocket landing in there. You do not want your rocket going into that area. Standing right about in the middle of the launch field at Crossroads Park, up on the knoll here, right next to the ball field, just to give you a good wide angle look on how long this park is and how narrow it is. Going to put up a little Alpha rocket here at Crossroads Park. Got it on an old pad I've had for 25 years. The Alpha's pretty new, so let's see how she does. Got a little bit of a breeze. Hopefully I don't put it in the pond over there. Let's do it. Range is clear, sky is clear. Got continuity going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the chute is going to tangle. There it goes. Perfect. All right, good little spot here.